Welcome to the 19th Annual National Economics Challenge pre-show. So this isn't the real deal yet, because it's just me. We're just practicing. But we're just a few minutes away from the main event. This is one of my favorite days as being CEO. Don't tell that to the board members. They think I really love the board meetings, but actually this is the best part. And it's the best part because I get to be with all of the wonderful students, and I can see that this is what happens when they spend all of that time working so hard to learn so much and to learn how to think about economics. They learn that it's not just a theoretical or abstract subject. They learn it's about how the world works and how they're going to make their way in the world. And it's actually, I hope, about making the world a better place for all of us. You want to make the world better with clean energy? That's all about economics. You want to lift people up out of poverty? You want to understand how tax or trade policies will help or hinder? You want to understand how philanthropy works? Well, that's easy. We're here. But that's all about economics, too. So I am always amazed at how the United States, one of the world's largest and greatest economies, does very little to teach our children about how to survive and thrive. But that's where we come in. The 10,000 students across the U.S. who competed to come here represent thousands of other students across the country who we serve and whose teachers we work with every day. And we do everything for them. We build the resources they use. We build training for them online and offline through our fabulous affiliates. And we put together great programs for them in all sorts of communities. Some of our new programs, Invest in Girls, Math and Personal Finance, and the other competition, which some of you participate in, the National Personal Finance Challenge, which is also growing at a rapid clip. We also work at the state and federal levels to get standards adopted and requirements passed, served by our publication, the Survey of the States, which will be coming out again this coming February. We do the research, build the resources, do the training, do the advocacy. We do that here in New York and across the country, again, through that fabulous network of affiliates. And at the end of the day, here we are. Our students have gained discipline, exposure, and confidence. They also, for many, and we heard a little bit about that this morning, are seeing New York City for the first time, meeting finance professionals for the first time, and the very best, meeting peers from another country, the U.S. and Chinese students. I hear had a fabulous time on the boat last night. I was home watching Game of Thrones. Sorry about that, and I won't do any spoilers. This is the third year of our remarkable partnership with SKT Education. It's led by Houston Hu, who couldn't be here today, but we have Jia Dong, the Vice President of Product Management, and one of our great partners. This year we have 72 students from China and a full complement of teams from the U.S. as well. This is due to SKT's incredible work and energy, doubling the competition in China this year over last year and the year before. It's pretty amazing. Well, we also consider ourselves, and I say this humbly, to be be one of the champions here. Over our 70-year history, we have ensured that the specialized language of economics, one that bridges nations, is taught to our kids because it is a language for navigating the real world and creating a better one. With this knowledge, students can build a sturdy hope for a good life on whatever horizon line they choose. I think our founders would be pleased. But most importantly, it's a tremendous accomplishment for all of you, and I'd like to give you all a round of applause now. I'm going to turn this over to John. I also just want to do a quick thank you to all of their parents, other guests. I know I'm going to miss a few when I read through the list later, so I'm just going to double down on that thank you for everybody that's here. And John's going to start the official bit in just a few minutes. Thank you all for coming, and a big, big, big thanks to CNBC and Andrew and Jacqueline for everything that they are doing for us.
Crucible is like the most fun part of the competition for us. It's our favorite.
I can't even begin to describe the pressure.
It's all built up to this. We are already top 4.
Definitely proud of myself for being here.
We're here to really show our skills, test our stuff against the best of the best.
It's go big or go home. They are the best of the best. America's brightest young economic minds, besting over 10,000 other high school students across the country for an invitation here. Welcome to the 19th Annual National Economics Challenge, the premier economics competition by the Council for Economic Education that for nearly 2 decades has inspired students across America to push their economic knowledge to new heights. 16 teams made it to New York to go through the grueling tests for the final round.
Marginal cost.
And it all comes down to today, the final Quiz Bowl competition. Here in the financial center of Manhattan, the Council for Economic Education is proud to present the final round of the National Economics Challenge. And now, the President and CEO of the Council for Economic Education, Nan Morrison.
Thanks, everybody. We're about to get started with our competition. Wanted to first acknowledge our board, donors, special guests. A special call out to one of our board members in particular, Russell Glass, who sponsors the Russell Glass Individual Achievement Award, to Schwartzman Scholars and Bloomberg Philanthropies for their support, and in addition, the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation. I also want to thank Andrew Ross Sorkin, this year's MC, as well as Jacqueline Corba, and of course, the fabulous crew from CNBC, who spent all day yesterday setting up. And of course, John Palacio and the Out Now crew, and our amazing stage manager, Rick. We are so appreciative of everything you do for us. I also want to acknowledge again the SKT Education Group, our exclusive partner in China, their founder and CEO, Houston Hu, and Zhazha Dong, their vice president of product management. They have over 70 students here with us today. The competition is growing like wildfire in China. We're very proud of them, and we're thrilled to be hosting all of those students. I've attended those competitions in China, and it's really a spectacular event, and I know you will really enjoy watching the U.S. and Chinese students compete today. I also want to thank all of the judges for donating their time, for the teachers who worked so hard to get their students ready to be here, not just the teachers in this room, but the teachers across the country who were so dedicated to working with their students to teach them a modicum about economics. I also want to give another heartfelt shout out to my staff. You would not believe what's been going on in our office over the last week. They are thoughtful, professional, on the money on everything they do, and I couldn't be more proud to have them as my team. And another thank you, yes, to Andrew Ross Sorkin. He's incredibly generous to share his time with us today. As you all know, he's a renowned financial columnist for the New York Times and co-anchor of CNBC's Squawk Box. A couple of our students were on this morning. We'll send you the link. He wrote the best-selling book, Too Big to Fail, and of course, he's a co-creator of the Showtime series, Billions, with one of my favorites on there, Paul Giamatti. He is also deeply thoughtful, urbane, kind, a truly gallant representative of the financial and economic tribe. Andrew makes our world less mysterious to the rest of the world and sets an example for how to act with consummate decency in it. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Thank you so much. Great. I have the wrong hands here.
That's okay.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Nan, and I appreciate this very much. It's a privilege to be here, everybody, and let's get the competition started right now. We have a big day ahead of us. These students have already completed 3 testing rounds, we should say, and a critical thinking round already, and these 2 teams made it to today's final David Ricardo Quiz Bowl round and are competing now for the title of National Champion. We're going to start with the David Ricardo division, which includes teams of students who have taken no more than 1 introductory economics course. Before we bring out the 2 finalists in this division, I want to introduce our judges for today, everybody, and for all of today's final Quiz Bowl rounds. These special guests for this round are Kristen Dickey, finance executive, private investor, Michael Ekstedt, senior vice president of Cetera Consulting Group, Grace Yoon, Chief Marketing Officer for Rockefeller Capital Management. The core judges are Dr. Stephen Buckles, Principal Senior Lecturer in Economics at Vanderbilt University. We have Dr. Julie Heath, Executive Director of APOP Professor of Economics at the University of Cincinnati. We have Dr. Jane Lopez, Director, Center for Economic Education, California State University. And we have Colonel Dick Rankin, former high school economics teacher and NEC coach and president. Our judges will be responsible for confirming our contestants' responses and will have the final say. That's important. They will have the final say on the accuracy of every answer. So I want to thank all of the judges. Please join me in thanking them in advance for their participation in this remarkable day. It is now time, and I'd like to call the teams to the stage now officially, and let's give everybody a round of applause for the top two teams in the David Ricardo division. Help me welcome the first finalist in the David Ricardo division is Olympia High School. Welcome. Welcome to the stage, everybody. Congratulations on being here already. It's a feat unto itself, but we will see what happens next. And the second finalist in the David Ricardo division is Mount Hebron High School. Guys, welcome to the stage. Now, as we begin, or I should say before we begin, we should congratulate everybody who is on this stage because it's a remarkable accomplishment already. But now I want the teams to pay attention because the rules matter, and we have some competition rules to discuss. So here's what we have. Whoever buzzes in for a question will be considered the team spokesperson for that particular question. That's important here. And must give the final answer. Team members may buzz in at any time while the question is being read. However, should they buzz in before the entire question has been read, I will stop reading the question. So I end the question. The team may not confer, and within 5 seconds, the person who buzzed in must answer based solely on the information he or she has heard up to that point. If a team member buzzes in after the entire question is read, the team has 15 seconds to confer and then give a response. Now, if the team answers incorrectly, I will read the entire question again, so you get a second bite of the apple. The other team will have 15 seconds to respond, and any team member can give the final answer at that point. Now, audience members, I encourage you all to root for your favorite team. That's part of this whole thing. But please do not shout out any answers because we want to give both teams a chance to answer them. And also, this is important. There are a couple of questions that have two parts to them. So if I start speaking and giving the question, and you think it's just the first part, and you buzz, you don't really get to hear the second part. So I just put that out there for everybody to understand. Also, I'd like to give the two teams an opportunity right now, importantly, to introduce themselves. I'm going to start at the far end. Would each of you, we should actually test the buzzers as well, once at a time. And if you could, tell us your name and something about yourself. And I will start all the way to my left.
Engel's law does not apply to me. I'm Gabriel Ong. Leonard Ong.
Okay, John.
My name is John Bussey, and I'm a volunteer search and rescue person.
Say that again. A volunteer search and rescue person. Mm-hmm. How did you get involved in that?
We met the search and rescue team on a run in the woods.
Have you thought about the economics of search and rescue?
Well, not particularly, because it's a volunteer organization, but I am on the board, so I guess we do deal with CDs and such.
Okay, we'll talk more about that in just a minute. Continue.
Hello, my name is Hugh March, and I can juggle 5 balls.
5 balls. And hold on. Tennis balls or soccer balls?
Tennis balls.
Tennis balls?
I want to juggle soccer balls, though. That'd be cool.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Andrew Pan, and I was born in Alaska.
Excellent, excellent. Why don't we go around? Yes, we'll go around the horn, as they say.
Hi, my name is Sudarshan Sundar, and I play double bass in orchestra.
Wow.
My name is Smit Shete, and I like to play guitar.
My name is Pauline Chang, and I have been dancing for 10 years.
My name is Nick Snyder, and I play baseball.
And you play baseball. Okay. Before we begin and get into this, the one question I wanted to ask all of you to answer, in addition to a little bit about yourselves, is how you got interested in economics. How did this happen for you? So I'm going to start all the way at the end, and if you could give us just and you can tell a story if you'd like. I'd love to. I think it's great for everybody to understand sort of how kids are getting more and more interested in economics today.
Well, at our school, it's kind of like a prestigious club that you can kind of get into. So when we got like an invitation to get in, you kind of want to do it, and then it just goes from there.
Does everybody try?
I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people try to do it, yeah.
I got to ask you guys to speak into the mic. So.
No, not everyone tries, but a lot of people in the school do it, yeah.
Okay. How did you get interested in economics?
Same story.
Same story. We'll get into that in a second. What about you?
At first, I actually wasn't that into economics. I didn't really know a lot about it. But as I got into my school's econ team, we started learning more, and I started to enjoy it more as we went on.
What is it that you like about economics?
I just like how it applies. I just like how economics is a field that can actually apply to real life. It's it's a lot more realistic to me than learning math.
But there is math in economics.
I know there is, but I can relate to events in the news a lot more now after learning.
Excellent. We should talk about that and how how the news has become interrelated, I imagine, in your class. But tell us your story.
Right, it's basically the same for me. When I first got into the club, I was like, man, this is amazing. 30 people competing for 4 spots? Can't wait to get on the team. But as I actually got into economics, the concepts themselves became intrinsically interesting. And from there, that's basically how we got here.
Excellent. How did you get interested in economics? Andrew, you have a very good name, by the way.
Thank you. For me, one of my friends introduced me to our school's economics team, and I was always really interested because I would read the news and I wouldn't understand what it was saying, so I wanted to know what they were talking about and how it applied to me.
Oh yeah, same for me. A friend told me, and I really wanted to know the news, and economics really applied to all these things, and I was like, they didn't make sense, but now since they apply to real world, they make sense a lot more to me, so that's pretty fun.
My grandpa is a CPA, and since I was little, he's engaged me in economics and personal finance, and then last year, one of my friends who's now a freshman in college told me I should join the economics team.
Excellent.
My brothers told me to do it.
Your brothers, always a good reason. Always a good reason. Okay, so I have a different question, which is because many of you mentioned the news, and I do think that you hear about economics in the news and in politics today in all sorts of different ways. So I was curious if anybody here wants to volunteer and tell us how your economics class has integrated the news today. What is the burning issue in your mind that's taking place in our country, let's just say for now, that has to do with economics? Does anybody want to take that? There's no right or wrong answer. You don't have to buzz in.
You have 15 seconds.
I think the current administration's slew of tariffs and the current trade war are something that affect everything we buy and our prices and the goods that we deal with on a day-to-day basis.
And are you a supporter of the tariffs or not? Given your econ background now.
I do think that there are some issues with trade between China and the U.S., but I do not, based on my economic background, I don't think that the tariffs are necessarily the right solution.
Fair enough. Anybody else want to take that on? Anybody on the other side of that issue?
We agree.
And before we formally begin, I'm curious how everybody prepared for today. What kind of preparation went into today? What kind of quizzes have you guys been giving each other over these past days?
I'd like to give a big shout out to Khan Academy. That's really why I'm here today. And we used a lot of Quizlets too. So,
Khan Academy. What about you?
Exactly the same thing.
Sal Khan's getting all the credit.
I'd like to give a shout out to Jacob Clifford. His ultimate review package.
Oh my God.
Helped a whole lot.
Jacob Clifford.
I'd also like to thank my econ teacher, Mr. Letourneau. He taught me a lot, only on the weekends though, but his information that he gives is very effective. Very high marginal utility.
And I think what we studied most was that our teacher made like a couple-page document of current events related to economics. I think all of us could recite most every question on that sheet. We've read that front and back.
Okay, last question from me before we formally begin. And this is a question, it's a topic that comes up actually on Squawk Box every single morning, probably now for the last year and a half, which is that polls show that millennials and younger people agree more with socialism than they do capitalism. And so I was curious where everybody on this, of these two tables thinks about that debate today, because it has become a very, very big one. Does anybody want to weigh in on this debate?
I think regulated capitalism is the correct market system.
Fair enough. How are you defining regulated capitalism?
A free market economy that is properly regulated by the government.
Does anybody here want to take on the other side of that debate? Advantages of socialism. Advantages of social democracy, which may be considered a slightly different variant on this very topic. By the way, I'm vamping, I should tell you, because we are waiting to go live in just a minute. But I'm selfishly very curious for the answer.
I'm not going to give it to you.
I'm not getting anywhere. You guys are hard. Hold on one second. I'm being checked in as we speak on the show. Hi there. How are you? This is what happens when we're doing live TV. But if you could, on this socialism capitalism question, there's nobody here who's. How do you feel about the presidential candidates talking about socialism these days? There's a lot of Democratic candidates that are talking about that. Nobody? You don't want to jump in? What do you guys think of the end of Game of Thrones? Spoiler alert, anybody? Anybody watch last night? Were you all studying for this? You were all studying.
We're on the cruise.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm losing here. I'm trying, and I'm getting very little. Usually the guests try to work with the host, but we're not having that experience right now. You will get a demerit, by the way, on your score for not trying to participate in this dialogue. Let me ask you a different question. Do you think you actually have to be good at math to be good at economics?
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not?
Well, I think you need to have a basic understanding of math to be able to be good at economics, but it is not necessary.
It's not necessary. Okay.
Though I think you can apply the theory of high-level mathematics to different parts of economics.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Is there anybody who wants to take on any of the big? I mean, I go back to the tariff issue only because we have about 2 minutes before we're actually going to formally begin. Does anybody think that pursuing this tariff program that the administration is pursuing right now is the proper approach? It's a good approach. Does anybody like tariffs at all here?
No.
No.
They're better than quotas.
They're better than quotas. Okay. This is a very complicated thing to do, given that you guys don't really want to answer any questions. But I'm sort of Yeah, I am. Sorry, we have people who are trying to talk to me as we're trying to talk to you, which is a little unfair to everybody, I imagine. When you think, are we on air right now? Oh, okay. We actually have more time, even more time than I thought. So we're going to be standing here and trying to have a conversation. If you'd actually engage with me in a conversation, we could try to do that. But if you can't really engage with me, we could also just stand here. So I'm actually going to ask you very, very specifically to weigh in on tariffs. And I am going to give you a demerit if you don't. So do you have a view on tariffs for real?
Well, like the other team said, tariffs are well-intentioned in the fact that there are certain problems between the trade between the U.S. and China. But I think tariffs as the solution aren't the correct way to approach the problem.
Okay.
So
how would you approach the problem?
I think getting a little bit stricter on intellectual property laws and looking at how China's stealing a lot of the intellectual property within the U.S. would be a better approach than just slapping tariffs on goods.
Okay, I think that's a fabulous answer. See, we're getting somewhere. And the question is, do you do that bilaterally, or do you think you have to do that as part of a group?
Not very sure.
Not very sure. Okay, that's fair. Anybody want to take that on this side?
I think it's important to weigh in as a group because even though the U.S. is, in most estimates, the strongest economic country in the world, I think with additional support, it would be easier to accomplish its objectives and not doing things like placing steel and aluminum tariffs for political reasons.
We are going to be live in about 1 second, so they're going to kick it to us. And here they come. They're coming to us right now. Hey there, how are you? We are live now at the Council of Economic Education's 2019 National Economic Challenge. There are 11,000 students that competed to be here today, and we're about to kick off the David Ricardo Division Finals. High school students who have been now completed one semester of basic economics are about to be quizzed on their knowledge of these principles and apply it to real-world events. So now we will officially, after all of that, guys, we are going to officially get started. So is everybody ready?
Yes, we are.
You got your buzzers. Everybody ready to go? Okay, let's start here. What economist is credited with developing the concept of conspicuous consumption?
Thorsten Veblen.
Teams, please wait to be recognized by the judges before you answer. But that is correct.
Okay. Congratulations. What does the price of roses, why does the price of roses increase before Valentine's Day, but the cost of beer does not increase before the Super Bowl, even though...
Olympia, John, you have 5 seconds to answer. You may not confer.
Because demand for roses before Valentine's Day increases, but the supply is what increases before the Super Bowl.
That is correct.
Okay. Third question. What is a zombie company?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
A company that goes under but then comes back.
That is well, let me ask you this. Can you be more specific? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
A company that is forced to shut down because it's under its average variable costs, but then is able to come back.
That is incorrect. Andrew, would you please reread the question for Olympia?
Okay. What is a zombie company?
A company that goes under but then comes back under different management.
That is incorrect. We were looking for an answer that talked about either debt significantly in excess of asset value or debt in excess of earnings and so on. So incorrect on both teams.
Okay. The next question is a video question, and it will be asked to you by Mary C. Daly, President and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco.
Name 4 of the U.S. cities in which the 12 Federal Reserve banks are located.
Mount Hebron, Nicholas, you have 5 seconds to answer. You may not confer.
New York. New York, Boston, Kansas City, and New Orleans.
That is incorrect. Andrew, please reread the question.
Shall I reread the
Yes,
question
please.
that she asked? The next question is a video question, and question 4 will be asked. Here it is. Name 4 of the U.S. cities in which the 12 Federal Reserve banks are located.
Olympia, you have 15 seconds to answer.
San Francisco, Kansas City, St. Louis.
New York, San Francisco, Kansas City, and St. Louis.
That is correct.
The score is now 2-1. Andrew, please read question 5.
Okay. Question 5. What is it called when one banking institution's problems spread throughout the banking system and cause problems for others?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
We need your
answer, please.
A run on the banks.
We'll accept that. That is correct. Other answers could have been financial contagion or bank failures. But we'll take run on the banks.
We are now tied 2-2. Please read question 6.
Determining a market demand curve for a private good is different than that of a public good in what way?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
The marginal social benefit curve is above the marginal private benefit curve, and therefore a market would underproduce the good, the public good.
And what about the private good?
A private good would be produced at the private market equilibrium, whereas a public good would be corrected for with government intervention and be produced above the quantity that a private market would produce at.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. Andrew, please reread the question.
Determining a market demand curve for a private good is different than that of a public good in what way?
Olympia, you have 15 seconds.
Because private goods are excludable.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect. The question said determining, how to determine it. So the answer is, for a private good, individual demand is added horizontally. For a public good, it's added vertically. Again, the key part of the question was, how do you determine it?
Okay, we stay tied 2-2. On to question 7.
Okay. Land is a factor of production. What are the other 3 factors?
Schmidt, you have 5 seconds. You may not confer.
Capital, entrepreneurship, and labor.
That is correct.
Okay, Mount Hebron takes the lead, 3-2.
And the next question is also a video question. Question 8 will be asked to you by Mary C. Daly, President and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco.
4 members of the Federal Open Market Committee vote on a rotating basis. How long is each rotating member's...
Andrew, you have 5 seconds to answer. You may not confer.
1 year.
That is correct.
Okay, we're tied again, 3-3.
Assume that GDP is at its potential and inflation has been equal to the Federal Reserve's inflation target. In response to a sudden inflation shock, the Fed institutes accommodating policy. In the long run, what will be the result of this policy on GDP and inflation?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
No change in GDP, inflation increases.
That is correct.
Score is now 4-3. Mount Hebron, please read question 10.
The Americans with Disabilities Act requires that closed captioning be available on all TVs. But even without this requirement, TV manufacturers would include closed captioning capability on all of their newly produced TVs instead of making only some TVs with that capability. Why?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer. Your answer, please.
To increase their market share.
That is incorrect. Andrew, please reread the question for Olympia.
The Americans with Disabilities Act requires that closed captioning be available on all TVs. But even without this requirement, TV manufacturers would include closed captioning capability on all of their newly produced TVs instead of making only some TVs with that capability. Why?
It's demand to reduce the amount of inputs. Ooh, yeah, roll with it.
To reduce the amount of inputs.
That is incorrect. We were looking for economies of scale, or that it's cheaper to make just one type of TV. I think your answer was a little too narrow because it's more than just inputs. Okay.
Okay, we are at 4-3. Mount Hebron, please read the next question.
Okay. Question 11, and I'm selfishly very interested in this answer. Why is Wi-Fi often included at no charge at cheaper motels and hotels, but only available for a fee at higher-end hotels?
Olympia, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
Price discrimination.
That is correct.
And we are tied again, Andrew, 4-4.
The individual tax cuts included in the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2017 expire in what year?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer. Oh, my apologies. I think you have to toss the question. I'm sorry. My apologies.
What are we doing?
Next question. Yeah.
We will go to question number 13. Staying with the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2017, one of the provisions is that tax brackets will now be pegged to the chained CPI instead of the CPIW. What is the difference between the chained CPI?
Nicholas, you have 5 seconds. You may not confer.
The chain-weighted CPI accounts for substitution of goods in the market basket, while the normal CPIW does not.
That is correct.
Okay, Mount Hebron jumps out to the lead, 5-4. Please read question 14.
Your company produces 1,000 units at an average cost that is constant at $800. You sell each unit for $1,000. You receive an emergency order for one more unit. The customer is willing to pay $1,500. Should you accept the order?
Andrew, you have 5 seconds. You may not confer.
Yes.
That is incorrect. Can you read the whole question? There was a second part to the question.
Your company produces 1,000 units at an average cost that is constant at $800. You sell each unit for $1,000. You receive an emergency order for one more unit. The customer is willing to pay $1,500. Should you accept the order, and why?
Yes, you should accept the order because marginal benefit is greater than the marginal cost.
That is correct.
We're now at 6-4. Please read question 15.
What is the beginning of a recession called?
Olympia, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
A peak.
That is correct.
Okay, 6-5. We are at the halfway point. Mount Hebron is up 6-5.
Question 16. In order to entice workers to do jobs that are often unpleasant or dangerous, employers often offer a wage premium.
Nicholas, you have 5 seconds. You may not confer.
Compensating differences?
Yeah, that is correct.
Andrew, could you read the whole question for the audience?
Let me read the entirety of the question. Number 16, in order to entice workers to do jobs that are unpleasant or dangerous, employers often offer a wage premium. What is the wage premium called?
Thank you. The score is now 7-5. Mount Hebron is in the lead.
It is now 7-5, and we're going to take a quick pause because CNBC is going to be coming back live to us in just one moment, and we want to properly introduce ourselves, and then we will get to question 17, if you'd indulge us. They're in the midst of some news right now about the president. Great. Give me 1 second.
I was going to say wage differentials, but I choked.
Oh. You guys, while we're waiting, they're showing the paper airplane finals in Austria. So that's what you're competing against. Just so we're clear. They're coming to us right now, I believe. They're coming to us right now. Hey there, we are in the midst of the finals now of the National Economics Challenge, David Ricardo Division, where students have been completed one semester of economics so far. We've had a number of pretty interesting questions asked. We have a scorekeeper over here. Where are we at?
Yeah, we are just over halfway through.
We're halfway through.
Mount Hebron has a 7-5 lead.
A 7-5 lead. And the most interesting part, by the way, was the Wi-Fi question, I thought, about why hotels. And I thought the discrimination answer was a good one. Okay, we're going to go to question number 17. Here it is, guys. If a country experiences political turmoil, what is likely to happen?
Andrew, you have 5 seconds. You may not confer.
Depreciate.
That is incorrect.
Okay, I'm going to complete the question. If a country experiences political turmoil, what is likely to happen to the inflow of capital into that country and to the domestic real interest rate?
Increases and decreases.
Can you be specific which is which?
The capital inflow increases and the real interest rate decreases.
That is incorrect.
And what is the answer?
The answer is capital inflows will decrease and real interest rates will increase.
Okay, on to question 18.
Okay. If the real exchange rate increases, what is likely to be the outcome with respect to exports?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
Net exports decrease.
That is correct.
Score is now 8-5 Mount Hebron. Please read question 19.
Okay. What theory predicts that a country that experiences inflation will also experience a depreciation of its currency?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
Monetarist theory.
That is incorrect. Please reread the question for Olympia.
Okay. What theory predicts that a country that experiences inflation will also experience a depreciation of its currency?
Classical theory of inflation.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is purchasing power parity.
Okay, we stay at 8-5 Mount Hebron's in the lead. Please read question 20.
Okay. Question 20. What economist developed the GDP accounting procedures?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
Keynes.
That is incorrect.
I'll ask the question again. What economist developed the GDP accounting procedures?
Last name's with an L. I want to say Leibniz, but it's not Leibniz. It's with an L. Lorenz.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Simon Kuznets.
So we continue to stay at 8-5 Mount Hebron. Please read question 21.
Assume a consumer is maximizing utility in the consumption of bread and cheese. Further assume that these are the only two goods being consumed. What will happen to the marginal utility of bread if the price of cheese decreases?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
It increases.
That is correct.
Okay, the score is now 9-5, and there are 9 questions remaining. Please read the next question.
Okay. Question number 22. Why doesn't a monopoly have a supply curve?
Olympia, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
Cost above average variable cost. That's the supply curve. It doesn't produce where supply equals demand.
Because it doesn't produce where supply equals demand.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
So the marginal cost is, they don't produce at the allocatively efficient point.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
They do not produce at the allocatively efficient point.
Where do they produce?
Where marginal revenue equals marginal cost.
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, we are at 9 Mount Hebron, 6 Olympia. We have 7 questions to go.
Okay. Why might some firms in an oligopolistic industry charge the same price?
Olympia, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
They produce above billings revenue, but if they produce below, because they'll lose revenue if they
Because of interdependence.
they'll lose. Okay, yeah. They'll lose revenue if they produce blah blah blah.
Because of interdependence, and they will lose revenue if they produce less than the other, or if they sell at a lower price than of the other firm.
That is incorrect.
I'll ask the question again and hopefully pronounce oligopolistic better. Why might firms in an oligopolistic industry charge the same price?
The firms use price fixing in order to increase their profits.
We'll accept that. That's correct.
The score is now Mount Hebron 10, Olympia 6. We have 6 questions to go.
Okay. Question number 24. You may need a pencil and paper to answer this question. If the MPC is 0.8, what amount of tax cut is needed to close a GDP gap of $400 billion?
Olympia, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
How much? Billion, million?
100 billion.
That is correct.
Score is now 10-7. We are on question 25.
To the nearest $1 trillion in 2018, what was the level of U.S. GDP?
Olympia, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
21 trillion.
That is correct.
Tightening up here at the end, it's now 10-8 Mount Hebron with 4 questions remaining.
Okay. Number 26. William Nordhaus was one of 2 recipients of the 2018 Nobel Prize in Economics. Who was the other recipient?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds.
James Romer.
That is incorrect.
Please reread the question.
William Nordhaus was one of 2 recipients of the 2018 Nobel Prize in Economics. Who was the other recipient?
An economist, that would be an economist.
Yeah, with him.
Just deal with it. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Stephen D. Levitt.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Paul Romer.
Oh, wait. You could have just said Romer.
Okay, 10-8. There are 3 questions remaining.
Okay. Question number 27. Carfax, C-A-R-F-A-X, is a market solution to what problem?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds.
It is a correction for a negative externality.
That is incorrect.
I'll ask the question again. Carfax, C-A-R-F-A-X, is a market solution to what problem?
I think it's when people use high-speed cable to try to intercept trades and get in front of trades to raise the price.
When it's to prevent certain traders using high-speed cable to get in front of trades to charge a higher price.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is imperfect information or asymmetric information.
Okay, scores 10-8. We are now on question 28, so there are 3 questions remaining at this point.
In a perfectly competitive labor market, what does the marginal cost of labor...
Nicholas, you have 5 seconds. You may not confer.
The wage rate?
That is correct.
Let's go!
Wait, come on. And with that, we have our winner. Mount Hebron High School wins the David Ricardo division at a score of 11-8. Congratulations.
Hey guys, good vote.
Congratulations. Congratulations very much. We will be presenting you with trophies and medals at the conclusion of our program today. We want to give both teams a huge round of applause. We will be back in just a couple of minutes for the final round of the National Economics Challenge. Adam Smith's division is up next, so stay tuned, stay where you are, and in the meantime, let's see what the Council of Economic Education has been doing to make a difference in our teachers' and children's lives today. Take a listen.
New York City, the financial capital of the world. But in the shadow of Wall Street, when it comes to financial literacy and economic education, New York is just like every other community in need of this fundamental knowledge. Right here in New York, the Council for Economic Education does what it does best in cities across the nation, reaching kids and the people who teach them.
We're learning how math is fun.
On the ground, in communities like Rego Park, a Queens neighborhood that is a microcosm of American diversity and where CEE has its family financial literacy nights.
Money is a material that you buy things. Because like when you grow up, you won't have money. So that's better to save when you're young, save for when you grow up. That's better.
Companies are depending on technology and not really on people, so they're making more profit because they don't have to pay everyone these great wages.
It happens on the ground in East Harlem, in schools like Cristo Rey, where CEE is helping to incorporate an ambitious financial and economics program into these schools that give a future to some of the city's poorest families.
I think it's important for 17-year-olds to learn these things because you need to know that in order to live, you need money.
And I just want to give them an opportunity to sort of roll up their sleeves a little bit and get a better understanding of how economics impacts their life.
And it happens on the ground in schools in and around the country through the engagement and enthusiasm of all the teachers we train. Teachers who make economics and personal finance both fun and meaningful.
It's like we're learning, but we're also having a good time.
Export and import, things like that. I didn't know as much about that. And now we're studying that, and this year it's supposed to start using credit cards.
Economics is my favorite part, of course, the money part.
You could spend it, use it to invest in the stock market, you could put it in the bank.
How many Keynesian economists does it take to screw in a light bulb? All of them, because more economists leads to greater output, greater employment, and greater aggregate demand.
Should I get this or that?
And it happens after school. There's Never Too Young, a K-5 after-school program that focuses on economic and financial education as early as possible. In just 3 years, nearly 1,000 students have participated. And the best part? Market Day, where students set up shop and hit the ground running, selling items they've personally created.
Market Day is about showing how, when you grow big and you want to get a business job and you want to get like a store.
You're never too young.
Let's get this competition started.
And it happens in a New York City auditorium, where the best economic minds of our youth are rewarded with a trip to Manhattan to compete in the National Economics Challenge. Every year, over 10,000 students expand their knowledge of the economy and dare to prove that economics can be fun.
Previously, it was more of, hey, can I understand this? But with this competition, it's more of, hey, do I understand and can I apply this to more advanced concepts? And can I do it at a fast enough pace for it to be useful?
Econ Challenge has probably been one of the most influential activities I've ever done in high school. I would never go back and not join my freshman year. I would tell everyone to join it.
New York City, a shining example of the work that the Council for Economic Education does here and across America.
see. We will see. I don't know what happens if we tie. Guess you have some extra questions. Looks like you have at least one. You also do some of the, you do a couple of and then we would just have one of you read that question.
Okay, everybody, it is now time for the final round of the National Economics Challenge. The Adam Smith Division includes teams of students enrolled in the toughest classes, advanced placement, international, baccalaureate, and honors classes as well. Before we introduce the teams and bring them to the stage, I'd like to acknowledge that one lucky student within the Adam Smith Division will receive the Russell Glass Individual Achievement Award. The award is given to the top Adam Smith Division scholar for best individual achievement based on his or her combined test scores in critical thinking round presentation. All 32 USA students in the Adam Smith Division were eligible, and we want to thank you to Russell for their contributions to this challenge. It is now a privilege and honor for me to introduce the two teams that are going to be joining us right now. The first finalist is the Adam Smith Division, is Mounds View High School. Come on up. And the second finalist in the Adam Smith Division is the Mount Hebron High School. Come on up. Okay, teams, welcome, and congratulations in advance for being here. We're now going to go over the rules. You know them, but here we go. Whoever buzzes in for a question will be considered the team's spokesperson for that particular question and must give the final answer. Team members may buzz in at any time while the question's being read. However, should they buzz in before the entire question has been read, I will stop reading the question. The team may not confer, and within 5 seconds, the person who buzzed in must answer based solely on the information he or she has heard up to that point. If a team member buzzes in after the entire question is read, the team then has 15 seconds to confer and give a response. If the team answers incorrectly, I will read the entire question again. The other team will have 15 seconds to respond, and any team member can give the final answer. I'd like to give the teams now an opportunity to introduce themselves to all of us on this exciting day. So I'd like to ask everybody, would each of you first test your hand buzzer at each time and then tell me your name and something about yourself. Please be sure to speak loudly and into that microphone. And I'm going to start at the far end on this side this time.
My name is Abhishek Vijaykumar, and even though this is a perfect competition, my marginal revenue just keeps going up.
My name is Arthur Nguyen, and I'm more useless than a price ceiling above the equilibrium.
Ooh.
I'm Aryan Segal, and I'm more hyper than Venezuela's inflation.
I'm Michael Pack, and I hope that my marginal benefit to the team exceeds my marginal cost.
Very nice.
My name is Aditya Krishna, and I speak 4 languages.
My name is Chase Blanchette, and I like to read, solve, and create crossword puzzles.
Wow.
My name is Lorelei Lorraine, and I dance on my school's dance team.
My name is White Curry, and I enjoy playing Cosmic Encounter.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, welcome to both teams, and we are going to begin in just a moment. Before I do that, I just want to remind everybody that there are some questions I may ask that have 2 parts. So if you ring in early, you risk hearing the entire question. Also, I want to suggest to you that in some cases you may want a pencil and paper for some of the questions. So let's begin. Question 1. What would be the impact of on employment in Mexico if the international value of the U.S. dollar appreciates?
Mount Hebron High School, you have 15 seconds, you may confer.
Employment increases, yes. Employment increases, employment increases, yeah, employment increases, yeah, that's it, yeah, go ahead.
Employment increases?
Can you elaborate? Wait. You know what? Let's start again.
Okay. We are going to start fresh at question number 2 and pretend it's question number 1. Assume the money supply is $500 billion and that GDP is $10 trillion. What would be the value?
Abishan, you have 5 seconds. You may not confer.
20?
That's correct.
Andrew, can you please reread the question for the audience?
For the audience, assume the money supply is $500 billion and that GDP is $10 trillion. What would be the value of the velocity of money? Okay. Question number 3. Which decade of the 20th century in the United States had the highest
Arthur, oh no, it's Abhishek again. 5 seconds, you may not confer.
The 1970s?
That's correct.
All right.
And yes, the question was, which decade of the 20th century in the United States had the highest inflation rate? Question number 4 is a video question. It'll be asked to you by Mary C. Daly, President and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco.
What is a systemically important financial institution?
Mount Hebron High School, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
Too big to fail?
That's right.
Score is now Mounds View 2, Mount Hebron 1.
I take a royalty on that answer. Question number 5. What is the highest possible value for the Herfindahl?
Abhishek, 5 seconds.
10,000.
Sorry, 2-part question.
I will repeat the question. What is the highest possible value for the Herfindahl Index, and what kind of an industry would that value indicate?
10,000.
Okay, 10,000 Monopoly. Okay, go ahead. Yep.
10,000 and Monopoly?
That's correct.
Score is now 2-2. Please read question 6.
Okay. Assume an income elasticity for a good is -3, and that the quantity demanded increases by 60%.
Income decreases by 20%.
We have to have the judges acknowledge you.
Sorry.
Could you repeat your answer?
Okay. Income decreases by 20%.
That's correct.
Andrew, please reread the whole question for the audience, and reminder, wait till you are acknowledged by the judges.
Assume an income elasticity for a good is -3, and that the quantity demanded increases by 60%. By how much did income change, and in what direction?
And we are now at 3-2 Mounds View. Next question, please.
Okay. Question number 7. Consider a world of 2 financial assets, money and bonds. What would happen to the price of bonds if more credit cards were used for transactions?
Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
Okay, go ahead.
Price of bonds increase?
That's correct.
We are tied 3-3. On to question 8.
And the next question is again a video question. Question 8 will be asked to you by Mary C. Daly, President and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco.
What are the 3 lending options?
Abhishek, 5 seconds, please.
Money, bonds, and certificates of deposit.
That's incorrect.
Reread the question.
I will, unless we'd like to show the tape, but I will reread the question. What are the 3 lending options at the discount window?
We need your answer.
Overnight loans, commercial papers, and repurchasing agreements.
Sorry. The correct answer is primary credit, secondary credit, and seasonal credit.
Okay.
Continue to be tied at 3-3. Question 9.
Social Security tax changes from proportional to regressive after reaching an income level of $128,700. Why?
Mount View, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
No, there's a cap on the money. Income higher.
Income higher than that is not taxed.
That's right.
Score is now 4-3 Mounds View. Please read question 10.
Federal debt, M1 money supply, or federal deficit? Which is the smallest amount?
Mounds View, you have 15 seconds. Ooh, excuse me, my mistake. Mount Hebron, you have 15 seconds. You may confer.
Federal deficit, or deficit, M1, and small. Yeah, small, so deficit. Go ahead, federal deficit. Go ahead.
The deficit?
That's correct.
We are again tied 4-4. Next question.
What is Japan's equivalent to the Dow Jones Stock Index?
Mounds View, you have 15 seconds.
I don't know.
Tokyo Exchange.
It's the Nikkei.
Sorry?
No, that's incorrect. It's the Nikkei. Oh, whoops. I apologize.
Okay.
That would be my mistake.
It's okay.
We're going to throw the question
We're
out.
going to throw the question
Start
out.
it again.
Okay.
Apologize.
And I'm going to go directly to question number 21. When a company that makes soup decides to also produce the cans that it uses to package the soup,
Vertical integration.
That's correct. Wait to be recognized, please. Thank you.
okay.
Score is now Mounds View 5, Mount Hebron 4.
Question number 12. All CNBC viewers need to know this answer. How many regularly scheduled meetings does the Federal Reserve open?
Lorelei, you have 5 seconds.
8.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay, we are tied again, 5-5, and we are on question number 14. I know your numbers are different, Andrew, but that's because you added the question, so we're at
So we're
14.
going to skip question 13?
No. Read question 13.
Okay. Question 13. Name one of the 2 giant mortgage companies.
Adita, you have 5 seconds. Oh, it's Chase. Chase, go ahead. You have 5 seconds.
Fannie Mae.
Yes.
Frequency indicator.
Okay, we were at Mount Hebron 6, Mounds View 5. This is actually the 15th question you will have read, but it is you have question 14 in front of you.
Okay. Number question 14. Who is proposed to become the first African-American woman to appear on the front of a paper note replacing Andrew Jackson?
Michael, you have 5 seconds.
Harriet Tubman.
That's right.
Okay, we're tied again, 6-6.
Question number 15. What is the most likely cause of an inverted yield curve?
Lorelei, 5 seconds.
An impending recession, and may I elaborate?
Yes, you can elaborate.
The yield on longer-term bonds being lower, than the yield on shorter-term bonds.
Recession is okay. We'll take it. Another way of thinking about that is expected deflation.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, Mount Hebron back ahead, 7-6. Please read the next question.
Okay, question number 16. What do we call mutual funds which, like individual stocks, are traded
Wyatt, 5 seconds.
Index funds?
That's not right.
I'll ask the question again.
Read the question.
What do we call mutual funds which, like individual stocks, are traded daily?
Exchange tradable funds or exchange traded funds?
That's correct, otherwise known as ETFs.
Okay, we're back to tied again, 7-7.
Question number 17. Who was the first female to win the Nobel Prize?
Lorelei, you have 5 seconds.
Eleanor Ostrom?
That's right.
However, how do you want to handle it?
It's 2 parts. She's wrong. She's wrong there. So you have to
It's a 2-part question, so let me
reread the question.
Reread the question.
For Adam Mounsview.
Who was the first female to win the Nobel Prize in economics, and how many females have won it overall?
1.
This is Moundsview. This is your answer. This is yours to answer, Moundsview.
Actually, I disagree. I'm the judge, and I'm going to suggest that I didn't recognize it as a 2-part question, and so I think we should let's ask another question.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
Andrew, we're on to question 18.
Question 18.
7 or 8 to 7?
Okay.
So, judges, are we going to re-edit? We're going to
Here we go. Assume a conglomerate merger results in lower per...
Wyatt, 5 seconds.
Economies of scope?
That's correct.
And let me read the entirety of the question just for the audience. Assume a conglomerate merger results in lower per unit costs of production. What do economists call this outcome?
The score is now Mount Hebron 8, Moundsview 7. Please read the next question.
Question number 19. What is the impact of an improvement in technology on the long-run Phillips curve?
Adita, you have 5 seconds.
Chase. It's Chase.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep looking in the wrong place. Chase, you have 5 seconds.
No change.
It's a 2-part question. Andrew, reread the whole question.
What is the impact of an improvement in technology on the long-run Phillips curve and the long-run aggregate supply curve?
They said it's 2-part when they said no change.
Phillips curve does not change and the supply shifts to the right?
That's correct.
It is now tied 8-8. Please read the next question.
Question number 20. Steep recessions are generally followed by what?
Wyatt, 5 seconds.
Steep recovery.
That's right.
Sorry about that. We are now at 9-8, Mount Hebron High School. Please read the next question.
Okay. We're skipping ahead to number 22 now.
Correct.
If capital consumption allowance depreciation is subtracted from gross domestic product.
Wyatt, 5 seconds, please.
Net domestic product.
Yep, you're okay.
And just for the audience, the question was if capital consumption allowance depreciation, that is subtracted from gross domestic product, what is the result? We will move on to question number 23 after our scorekeeper.
Yeah, we are now Mount Hebron 10, Mounds View 8.
Okay. Number 23, what is the relationship between unemployment and inflation?
Abshek.
When unemployment rises, inflation decreases, and vice versa.
2 parts.
Let me read the question again. What is the relationship between unemployment and inflation in the short run and in the long run?
Yep. None. Negative, none. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Negative and none.
That's correct.
Okay, question number 24. If supply is relatively inelastic and demand is mildly elastic, who will bear the burden?
Wyatt, 5 seconds.
Producers.
Correct.
Okay, we are now at 12-8.
And just to finish up that question, who will bear the burden of an imposed per unit tax was the question. Question number 25. Assume you purchased a raffle ticket for $10. The prize, if you won, was $100, but you did not win. If you had a personal value of $14 for the raffle ticket, what were your opportunity costs for the raffle ticket?
Mounds View, you have 15 seconds.
The $10 you used to buy the raffle ticket?
That's correct.
Okay, the score is now 12-9.
Question number 26. What characteristic of perfectly competitive industries and monopolistic competitive industries guarantees a normal rate of return?
Adida, 5 seconds, please.
Low barriers of entry.
Yes, that's correct.
And to end that question, it was to guarantee a normal rate of return in both industries in the long run. Number 27 on our list. Name a member of OPEC that is in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah. Oh, wait a second. Hold on 1 second.
We were all trying to buzz. It wasn't buzzing. It was just.
It was cleared. You've got the.
Okay, Mounser, you have 15 seconds.
Oh, Venezuela. Venezuela.
That's correct. Another answer could have been
Do a
Ecuador.
buzzer test. Can I do a buzzer test?
RN, please
Yeah.
do a buzzer test.
Okay.
Try it again. Try it again.
It's not working half the time.
Okay.
Now it's working. Now it's not working. Now it's working.
RN, hit your buzzer.
Sorry?
Hit your buzzer. Lorelei, hit your buzzer. Okay, if you hear the single buzz, it's this team. Lorelei, hit your buzzer. It's a double buzz.
There's not a sound sometimes.
Because you didn't have to be a sound either?
Yeah.
would you like to address this? Would you like to hold Michael's hand and do it together?
Both.
Okay.
Can I shout buzz maybe? I don't.
Sure.
Okay.
It's okay.
Question number 27 is the following. Exorbitant interest rates like those charged by loan sharks are termed
Predatory?
That's correct.
And the buzzer works.
Okay, we are at 13:11, and we have 3 questions remaining. I know you're on 28, Andrew, but we had one that we just cut out from the judge's side, so we actually have 3 more questions.
Just as a clarification, I'm on question number 29.
29. Yes,
Okay.
29, 30, 31, basically.
Okay.
So we have 3 more questions.
Okay, folks, here we go. Which British economist predicted that population growth...
Aaron, 5 seconds.
Malthus?
There you go.
Okay, we are now at Mount Hebron 13, Mountains View 12, and we have 2 questions remaining.
Question number 30. If a haircut that cost $10 last year costs $15 this year, what is the annual rate of inflation?
Wyatt, you have 5 seconds.
50%.
That's correct.
And we have our winners. With a score of 14-12, Mount Hebron High School. I believe this is the first time we have winners from the same school in both Smith and Ricardo. Congratulations.
I will. Congratulations, everybody. Hey, thank you.
Well played. Well played.
Great job. You have such a good job.
Pressure's on. Yeah. The buzzer isn't broken. No. Functions as a lockout system, so he thinks it's broken when his own teammate is broken. The second.
Exactly. I thought they were.
Yeah, there's a lockout.
We're just waiting. We're going to be live in a moment. So, yep, we're going to do an interview right now. Excuse me? I don't know. Okay.
One.
Something from behind the podium, please. Sorry.
Okay.
You got. Thanks, Rich.
Hold on a second. Give me the list of who I'm looking at.
Well, no, we're going to do a live interview with both of you for CNBC.
Okay, great. I'm sorry.
Oh, actually, you're right.
Where do you want me to end it?
Thank you. Appreciate it, Chase.
I'm just testing this. Can everybody hear me? Should we? Hold on. Are you trying to talk to me yet? Hey there. We are with the winners. They literally just won in a, what was it, nail biter. Can we agree? Tell us what high school you're from.
Mount Hebron High School.
And you guys, it really was. We were down to the wire. What was the hardest question for you guys?
There was a question where they asked us for different types of credit, and I think that was a difficult fact question which we couldn't get.
And you guys have been preparing for this for a long time. So tell us, for those in the audience, how do you prepare? What are you guys doing all the time?
Well, our magnificent teacher, Mr. Van Prime, actually teaches us economics classes, especially because we're Adam Smith, so we're in AP Economics. And he's done so much for us this year. I can't thank him enough. On top of that, all the textbooks, ManQ, and all that, and then all the resource banks, which the CE posts online, have been really integral in helping us.
How did you guys get into economics to begin with?
So we actually got recruited the same way that our David Ricardo team got recruited, and Aditya Wyatt and I got recruited at the same time. And while we were on David Ricardo, it was a lot about just learning and cramming in facts. But the summer after I left David Ricardo, I realized that there are actually cool things about econ, and that it's actually really fun to learn, and it's not just something you do for a competition. So that would be my moment.
Okay, so we're not just nerding out here is the point. The person who's responsible for all of this, I'm going to come to your side. Nan, tell us how you started this whole thing.
Well, the Econ Challenge was going for a long time before I got here, but we were really thrilled to be able to expand it and to get the kids doing not just these quiz bowl rounds, but yesterday I watched this very team compete in the analytical thinking round where they had a case study and had to present. And I have to tell you, their learning goes far beyond just a recitation of facts. They really understand how this stuff works, and it's incredibly rewarding to watch them.
Okay, anybody here have a famous economist that you love? Anybody?
Milton Friedman.
Milton Friedman. Okay, so we have all capitalists. Do we have any socialists in this new generation? I know, but I figured I'd ask. Nobody wants to take the other side. It's okay. Tyler, I'm going to send it back to you. We're here hanging with a bunch of, this is good. A whole new generation of capitalism right here. We'll see in a little bit, you bet. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, congratulations. Thank you so much. Hey, congratulations. Wow. Okay, so we have 2 more rounds.
I know.
Was that better? That time was better.
You know what? You think it just takes a little moment to get into the rhythm.
Needed to
You're
get
awesome.
into the rhythm.
But you're really great at reading the questions and anticipating a little bit for them, because that's part of the competition. But I think you're doing it really well.
I always wanted to be Alex Trebek, so this is my chance.
I'm just going to do the Russell Glass Award. I'm going to do that. Yes, I'm going to do that right now. Don't go way too far.
You want me to call the awards for these guys? Would you want me here?
Yes. Yeah, you can hang out, whatever.
Well, let me just give this microphone back. This is so ridiculous.
I just have to write some things into your binder.
You didn't hear what I was trying to ask you.
No, I couldn't hear you.
Oh my God.
The last 2 rounds can get ready. They're organizers.
I couldn't hear you.
You couldn't hear me?
No.
Oh, I was saying,
What?
remember. Tell us. Okay, do you have the card?
Okay, the next round's cards, and I need to write things into your binder.
I'm ready to write.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
competitive rounds of SKT education, 2,300 students began and just 2 teams remain. And in the U.S., the top 2 teams bested 10,000 students competing in Council for Economic Education state finals across the country. These winning students have shown their economic literacy, decision-making skills, and their ability to work as a team. They will compete in 2 divisions, the David Ricardo division, with teams of students who have taken no more than 1 introductory economics course, and the Adam Smith division of teams enrolled in advanced economic classes. So get ready
1, 2, 3, keep on!
for the final rounds of the Council for Economic Education's 2019 Economics Challenge International. And now, please welcome your host, financial columnist for the New York Times and co-anchor of CNBC's Squawk Box, Andrew Ross Sorkin.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you. And thank you for having me. It has been a pleasure to be here and to pretend to be Alex Trebek today, and I have loved every second of it, and this is my first time being here, so thank you for your indulgence as well. We want to welcome the David Ricardo teams representing CE's National Economics Challenge International round, and we would welcome them now to the stage. The China teams represent the winners from China's Economics Challenge International, put on by CE's exclusive Chinese partner, SKT Education Group. And we also want to thank all of the judges once again for all of your help with this challenge. Teams, please come to the stage. If we could welcome them, representing the David Ricardo International Division from China is Shanghai Star River Bilingual School. Welcome. Representing the David Ricardo International Division from the USA is Mount Hebron again. Welcome to both of you. Now, the first round will be the USA David Ricardo Championship team competing against China's finalist team. The rules for this round, I should mention to everybody who's here with us in the audience, and of course for those participating, that the rules are slightly different this time around, so please pay attention to this. No team will be buzzing in. Take a quick pause. Okay. And we'll wait for our technical difficulties to be solved. But okay. So here are the new rules. No team will be buzzing in. Instead, after I read each question, the team will have 20 seconds to confer and write down your answer clearly and legibly on your whiteboard. Okay, we're going to ask for silence from the audience so the teams may hear one another and so that no assistance is given, and that's important. Once your answer is completed, please place your whiteboard face down on your tables. And once your board is face down on the table, that is going to be your final answer, and you may not pick up the board again. If both teams have finished before the 20-second limit, I will prompt each team one at a time to show their whiteboard to the judges and have their designated spokesman say the answer out loud. Your verbal answer must match the written answer. If they do not, your written answer will be the one that's judged. So the written answer is the one that will take precedence. If they do not, after both teams have displayed and stated their answers, the judges will then announce which, if any, answers were correct. Now, if either team has not finished before the 20-second limit, a buzzer will sound and the timekeeper will announce when 20 seconds have passed. At that time, you must put your whiteboard face down immediately, or your team will forfeit that question. That's also important. There will be 24 questions in this round, and it is possible that we could have a tie. Team USA, who will be your team spokesperson for this competition?
I will be the spokesperson.
Okay. Team China, who will be your spokesperson for this competition?
I will.
Okay. I'd like to give both teams an opportunity to introduce themselves to our audience. Would each of you tell me your names and tell me something about yourself? And I'm going to start with you guys.
My name is Leo Zhao, and I love to play soccer.
You love to play soccer.
I'm Renting Zhang, and I love New York City.
My name is Phil, and I currently study in Shanghai.
Excellent.
My name is Shirley Shao, and I will be in the summer at Stern program this summer.
Congratulations.
My name is Sudarshan Sundar, and I like to play basketball.
My name is Smith Shete, and I like to go camping.
My name is Pauline Chang. I am a dancer.
My name is Nick Snyder, and I run track.
Okay. Before I begin, are there any final questions from either side about the rules, the regulations, how that's set up? Okay. Now, before I begin, let me also remind you that some of the questions I may ask can be two-part questions. And so if you ring in early...
No ringing in.
No?
No ringing in.
Because we don't have the ringing in. I apologize. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start with question one. Everybody ready? Everyone's got their pencils at the ready. Number one. Good X is produced and sold in a competitive market. Suppose the free market clearing equilibrium price leads to an equilibrium quantity that is positive but less than the socially efficient amount. What type of market failure is likely the cause?
20 seconds. Five seconds remaining. It's underproduced.
Okay. Team USA?
It is a positive externality.
That is correct.
Team China?
Positive externality.
That is also correct.
Okay. All right. Congratulations to both teams. We're now on question two. Is the following event included in the current year's national income accounts? And if so, in CIG or net exports, a business produces goods that nobody buys.
Five seconds. Pens down.
Okay. We will go to Team China first.
Yes, investment or I.
And we'll wait for Mount Hebron.
Yes, consumption.
China, you are correct. U.S., you are incorrect.
Okay. We're now on to question three, and for this question, you might want a pencil and paper. Okay. With 10 hours of labor, country A can produce 3 basketballs or 2 sweatshirts, while country B can produce 4 basketballs or 3 sweatshirts. For both countries to benefit from trade, which country, if either, should export basketballs?
Five seconds.
Mount Hebron.
Country B.
Shanghai, Star River. Country B. You are both incorrect. It is country A.
Okay. We are going to move on now to question number 4.
It was ours.
Everybody ready? Question number 4. What is the name for the loss in total surplus or net benefits to society resulting from a market distortion such as a tax?
Are we both ready?
Shanghai Star River.
It's deadweight loss.
Mount Hebron.
Deadweight loss.
You are both correct.
Okay, we are on to now question number 5. Suppose new research shows that, holding all else constant, when the price of chocolate chip cookies increases, the demand for oatmeal cookies decreases. What does this research suggest is the relationship between chocolate chip and oatmeal cookies?
Five seconds. Okay, I think we're ready.
Mount Hebron.
Complement.
Shanghai Star River.
Compliments.
You are both correct.
Okay. We are now on to question number 6. When wages, prices, and interest rates have adjusted to equilibrium, the long-run aggregate supply curve takes this shape.
Is it okay if I ask a question? Are we supposed to draw the shape or describe it? Okay.
Five seconds.
Shanghai Star River.
It's vertical.
Mount Hebron.
Vertical.
You're both correct.
Andrew, we are at the quarter-way mark here, and we have Shanghai Star River 5 and Mount Hebron 4.
Okay. Question number 7. You might want a pencil and paper for this question. In a competitive market, demand is represented by the equation P equals 100 minus Q, and supply is represented by the equation P equals Q. If the government sets a price floor of 60, will there be a shortage or surplus, and how large will it be?
How large?
5 seconds.
Mount Hebron.
Shortage of 40.
Shanghai Star River.
Surplus of 20.
Mount Hebron, you are incorrect. Shanghai Star River, you are correct.
Okay. We're now at question number 8. Everybody ready? Suppose that wealth increases, which changes the demand for money. What would we expect to happen to equilibrium interest rates?
Increase.
5 seconds.
Both increase.
Shanghai Star River.
It could both increase as in the. Never mind. I'll just say this. It increases.
Mount Hebron.
Increase.
You are both correct.
Okay. We're now on to question number 9. A firm charges a price of 60 euros for its product. It pays each worker the market wage of 30 euros an hour, and there are no other costs. If the firm is maximizing its profit, how much output does the last worker the firm hires produce per hour?
Five seconds.
Ooh. Mount Hebron was not finished in time. Shanghai Star River. Your answer, please.
0.5.
That is correct.
Oh, yeah, score is 8-5. We're now going to question 10.
Okay.
8-5, Shanghai Star River.
Okay. Question 10. If nominal interest rates are lower than real interest rates, what can you say about the expected rate of inflation?
Five seconds.
Shanghai Star River.
It is negative.
Mount Hebron.
Negative.
You are both correct.
Okay. Question number 11. Victor decides not to contribute money to his apartment building's purchase of a tennis table for the recreation room. But he knows he will use it. What do economists call people like Victor?
Economists, not neighbors. I think we both have answered yet.
Mount Hebron.
Free rider.
Shanghai Star River.
Free rider.
You are both correct.
Okay. Number 12. The ratio of nominal GDP to real GDP times 100 gives us what?
Shanghai Star River.
GDP deflator.
Mount Hebron.
GDP deflator.
You are both correct.
Okay, we are at the halfway point with Shanghai Star River at 11 and Mount Hebron at 8.
Okay. Question number 13. What famous economist is best associated with the concept of comparative advantage?
Mount Hebron.
David Ricardo.
Shanghai Star River.
David Ricardo.
You are both correct.
Okay, question number 14. This type of money, usually made of paper, has no intrinsic value, but is accepted as money because of a government decree.
Shanghai Star River.
Fiat money. Fiat
Mount
money.
Hebron.
Fiat money.
You're both correct.
Okay. Question number 15. Finish Adam Smith's quote. It is not from the benevolence of the butcher, the brewer, or the baker that we expect our dinner, but from their regard to...
Seconds.
Mount Hebron.
Self-interest.
Shanghai Star River.
Self-interest.
You are both correct.
Okay, question number 16. If potential GDP is 15 trillion and actual GDP is 10 trillion, what is the size of the GDP gap?
Five seconds.
Shanghai Star River.
It is 5 trillion.
Mount Hebron.
-5 trillion.
Mount Hebron, you are correct. Shanghai Star River, you are incorrect.
I have a question.
Okay.
It says size, so.
Isn't it like the absolute value?
Yeah. Because it says size. It didn't ask us to specify the actual.
I'm sorry, we will not accept that answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
It was a good try, though. Okay.
Okay, we are at the 2/3 mark. We have 8 questions left. Shanghai Star River 14, Mount Hebron 12.
Okay, everybody ready? Number 17. Recently, China has been the largest exporter in the world, with the United States coming in second. What country, not a trading bloc or a union, is the third largest exporter?
Five seconds.
Mount Hebron.
Germany.
Shanghai Star River.
Japan.
Mount Hebron, you are correct. Shanghai Star River, you are incorrect.
Okay, we're now at 14, Shanghai Star River 13, Mount Hebron High School. Question 18.
Question 18. In a closed economy with no government, the marginal propensity to save is 20%. If investment spending increases by $10 billion, by how much could GDP increase?
Shanghai Star River.
50 billion.
Mount Hebron.
50 billion.
You are both correct.
Okay. We're now at question number 19. Here it goes. Rebecca saves $25 a week to buy her aunt an expensive bracelet. Her parents tell her that if she does not save enough money, they will give her the additional money needed to purchase the bracelet, intending to encourage her to save. Rebecca then begins to save just $5 a week. What economic concept does this describe?
Five seconds.
Mount Hebron.
Moral hazard.
Shanghai Star River.
Moral hazard.
You are both correct.
Okay, we're now at question number 20. Consider a circular flow model of an economy that includes the household sector, business sector, government sector, financial sector, and foreign sector. Name 3 leakages in this model, which would cause the flow of income and product to decrease if not offset by injections.
Five seconds.
Shanghai Star River.
Taxes, saving, and imports.
Mount Hebron.
Taxes, saving, and foreign investment.
Shanghai Star River, you are correct. Mount Hebron, you are incorrect.
The score is now Shanghai Star River 17, Mount Hebron 15, with 4 questions remaining.
Okay, question number 21. Consider a central bank that pays interest on bank reserves as a monetary policy tool. To expand the money supply, what should the central bank do to this interest rate?
稳一点。
Mount Hebron,
Decrease.
Shanghai Star River.
Decrease.
You are both correct.
Okay, number 22. If society finds new uses for corn at the same time, disease wipes out 25% of the corn growers' crops, what will happen to the equilibrium price of corn and to the equilibrium quantity of corn sold?
quantity 应该是
5 seconds.
Shanghai Star River.
The price increases while the equilibrium quantity is indeterminate.
Mount Hebron.
Price increase, quantity indeterminate.
You are both correct.
We are at 19-17 in favor of Shanghai Star River with 2 questions to go.
Okay, here we go. Number 23. The risk associated with investing in stocks can be reduced by purchasing the stocks of a variety of different corporations rather than investing in just one corporation's stock. What is the economic term used to describe this approach?
Five seconds.
Mount Hebron.
Diversification.
Shanghai Star River.
Diversification.
You are both correct.
We have our winner. We have 1 question remaining and a 2-point difference, so that means congratulations to Shanghai Star River.
Are we done?
Yeah, we are done with this round.
We're done with this round.
We're done with this round. Congratulations.
Congratulations to both teams, but congratulations to our winning team. Thank you guys for a remarkable day. Really a remarkable accomplishment for both groups. Hey, nice to meet you. Good luck. Hey, absolutely.
All right, everyone stand by. We'll be going on to the Adam Smith International round in just a couple minutes.
Congratulations, guys. It's so exciting.
When they're hit, because everyone's going to get directly together, so the gap is harder to. It's too hard. It's like a difficult.
As opposed to
just times up whenever the board's not done at that moment. Like she was saying, your board's not done, so it's times up when your board done now.
Okay.
You guys can actually remove the buzzers, not use the buzzers.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, just remove the buzzers.
clap for everybody because it's just been such a spectacular event. And it's just great to celebrate so many young people so interested in economics and so talented in this room. We want to get right to it and begin what is the Adam Smith division of the CE's National Economics Challenge International Round. And teams, I would invite both of you to join us right now. Basis International School is going to be joining us, and Mount Hebron is joining us as well. What we want to do is I'm going to read the rules, and then I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves one final time. Even though I know there are many people here who know you at this point, you've become celebrities. Let's go over these rules. No team will be buzzing in. That's an important distinction in all of this. Instead, after I read the question, each team will have 20 seconds to confer and write down your answer clearly and legibly on your whiteboard. We're going to then ask for silence from the audience, and this is also important so the teams may hear both one another and so no assistance is given to either team. Once your answer is completed, we would like you to place your whiteboards face down on the table. And once your board is face down on the table, that is your final answer, and you may not pick that board up again. If both teams have finished before the 20-second limit, I will prompt each team one at a time to then show their whiteboards to the judges and have their designated spokesperson say the answer out loud. Your verbal answer must match your written answer. If they do not, your written answer will be the one that is judged. After both teams have displayed and stated their answers, the judges will announce which, if any, answers are correct. If either team has not finished before the 20-second limit, a buzzer will sound and the timekeeper will announce when 20 seconds has passed. At that time, you will you will put your whiteboard face down immediately, or your team will forfeit the question. Again, that's important. There'll be 24 questions in total this round, and it is possible that we could have a tie. I will ask everybody to introduce themselves, and then I will first ask, well, let's do this first. Team USA, just a brief introduction, and then who will be your spokesperson?
I'm Wyatt Curry.
My name is Lorelei Lorraine.
I'm Chase Blanchette.
My name is Aditya Krishna, and our spokesperson is Chase Blanchette.
Okay. Team China, please introduce yourself.
I'm Yinting Wang.
I'm Eric Chen.
I'm Edward Luo.
And I'm David Wong.
And who will be your spokesperson?
I will.
Excellent. Are there any final questions before we begin this final round?
Are abbreviations all right?
Are abbreviations all right? I will pass that to the judges.
Yes.
As long as they're here.
Okay. Okay, folks. Let's begin. Question number 1. Consisting of bank reserves and currency, this also represents the liabilities of the central bank.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'm on. Wait. Anything else? What else?
5 seconds.
Basis International School.
Money supply.
Mount Hebron.
M1.
You are both incorrect. We were looking for monetary base or high-powered money.
Okay. We will move to question number 2. If a per-unit tax is placed on a good sold in a competitive market, what must be true about demand? Assume the entire burden of the tax falls on buyers and supply is upward sloping.
Demand per NL. Yes. Perfectly inelastic. Got it. Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
Mount Hebron.
Demand is perfectly inelastic.
Basis International.
Perfectly inelastic.
You are both correct.
Okay, question number 3. When the government tries to stimulate the economy by running deficits, forward-looking consumers anticipate future taxes, so demand remains unchanged. What is the name for this hypothesis?
Yeah, you're right, so they can't see it, right?
5 seconds.
Basis International.
Ricardian equivalence.
Mount Hebron.
Rational expectations.
You are both correct.
Question number 4. The, quote, kinked demand curve model of oligopoly pricing behavior assumes that a firm will do what to the price it charges when competitors raise prices?
Follow suit? But it's okay.
5 seconds.
Mount Hebron.
Nothing.
Basis International.
Do nothing.
You are both correct.
Question number 5. Suppose country A is closed to trade and has a competitive domestic market for corn. The price of corn is stable at around 10. If country A opens its markets to world trade and the world price of corn is 14, will country A become an importer or exporter of corn?
Basis International.
Exporter.
Mount Hebron.
Exporter.
You're both correct.
Number 6. Higher than the equilibrium wage, what is the name for the wage that maximizes worker effort and minimizes worker turnover?
It's how she is.
Mount Hebron.
Efficiency wages.
Basis International.
Efficiency wages.
You are both correct.
So at the quarter mark, we are tied at 5-5.
It is tight. Question number 7. In a perfectly competitive market in long-run equilibrium, price is equal to marginal revenue and marginal cost. What else is price equal to?
It's French. Indeed, the French they are.
Basis International.
Average total cost.
Mount Hebron.
Minimum average total cost.
Basis International, you are incorrect. Mount Hebron School, you are correct. We were looking for the minimum average total cost.
Okay, question number 8. What law says that when output falls by about 2%, the unemployment rate increases by 1%?
Mount Hebron School.
Oken's Law.
Basis International.
Oken's Law.
You are both correct.
Okay, question number 9. In a competitive labor market, firms will hire more workers if what is greater than the market wage?
I think that's fine. Yes, it is right.
5 seconds.
Basis International.
Marginal revenue product.
Mount Hebron.
Marginal revenue product.
You are both correct.
Okay. Question number 10. A perfectly competitive industry is in equilibrium. Demand increases 20 units at every price. Considering the elasticity of both supply and demand, what would lead to the largest increase in equilibrium quantity? Elastic or inelastic supply, along with elastic or inelastic demand?
Yeah, this should be correct.
5 seconds.
Mount Hebron.
Both are elastic.
Basis.
Both elastic.
You are both incorrect. Inelastic demand and elastic supply.
On to question 11.
Okay, we're now on to question 11. In the income approach to measuring GDP, we measure income paid to the owners of the factors of production. What are these 4 categories of income?
What's the difference? Is there any props? Yeah, that's not a big deal.
5 seconds.
Basis International.
Rent, wages.
Mount Hebron.
Interest, rent, wages, and profit.
Mount Hebron, you are correct. Basis International, you are incorrect.
Question number 12. What will happen to the value of the Japanese yen relative to the euro if real income rises faster in Japan than in Europe?
It's going to depreciate. Yeah, we're good.
5 seconds.
Mount Hebron.
Depreciate.
Basis International.
Depreciate.
You are both correct.
At the halfway mark, we have Mount Hebron at 10 and Basis International 8.
Okay. We're now on to question number 13, and for this question, you might want to use a pencil and paper. This is a 2-part question. The non-institutionalized adult population is 200. Within this population, 90 are working, 10 are looking for work, 10 are discouraged workers. What is the unemployment rate, and what is the labor force participation rate?
Sorry, I'll take that one out. I didn't give you 5 seconds.
Basis International. Your answer, please.
Unemployment rate is 10% and labor force participation is 50%.
Mount Hebron.
Unemployment rate is 5% and labor force participation rate is 50%.
Basis International, you are correct. Mount Hebron, you are incorrect.
Okay, on to question number 14. What do economists call a good that is rival and non-excludable?
Mount Hebron, your answer, please.
A common resource.
Basis International.
Common good.
You are both correct.
Okay, we're on to question number 15, and again, for this question, you may want a paper and pencil. The economy has no government sector and no foreign sector. Aggregate demand is given by the equation AD equals 0.8 parentheses Y plus 400, where Y equals GDP. What is the equilibrium level of national income?
Stop. What are you doing, David? Why is Y equal GDP?
5 seconds. Time is up.
Basis International.
$2,000.
And Mount Hebron has no answer. You are correct, Basis International.
We are tied at 11 through 15 questions.
Okay. We are now on to question number 16. The demand for construction workers in a city is determined in large part by the demand for new houses and buildings in that city. Economists call the demand for construction workers what kind of demand?
Mount Hebron.
Derived demand.
Basis International.
Derived demand.
You are both correct.
We are 2/3 of the way through, and we are tied, 12-12.
Question number 17. What is the name for Milton Friedman's theory that consumption depends on the present value of lifetime income and not just on current income?
Five seconds.
Good, thank you.
Basis International.
Permanent income.
Mount Hebron.
Future value theory.
Basis International. You are correct.
Yes.
Okay. We're on to question number 18. This rule tells a central bank how to adjust the nominal interest rate in response to deviations of inflation from its target and deviations of unemployment from the natural rate.
Mount Hebron.
Taylor rule.
Basis International.
Taylor rule.
You are both correct.
Okay, we are now on to question number 19. Of the four major market structures, which has or have the characteristic of mutual interdependence?
Basis International.
Oligopoly.
Mount Hebron.
Oligopoly.
Correct.
Okay, now on to question number 20. Consider the interest elasticity of money demand. When would an increase in the money supply have the largest effect on interest rates?
Five seconds.
Mount Hebron.
Inelastic.
Basis International.
When it's inelastic.
You are both correct.
Okay, we are through question 20, basis 16, Mount Hebron 15, so we have 4 questions remaining.
4 questions, and this next one may make you hungry. Question 21. Mr. Smith eats 5 frozen pizzas each week. Holding all else constant, what does economic theory say happens to Mr. Smith's marginal utility of his last frozen pizza eaten per week if his doctor restricts him to 2 frozen pizzas per week compared to 5?
We can't. Just leave it down.
Basis International.
Increase.
Manhebran,
Increase.
you are both correct.
1716 basis with 3 questions remaining.
Question 22. This type of variable or indicator has peaks and troughs that tend to occur later than the peaks and troughs in the business cycle.
You sure? Sorry. Yeah, no. We're good. My bad.
Manhebran, your answer, please.
Lagging indicator.
Basis International,
Lagging indicator.
you are both correct.
Okay, we are now on to question 23.
23.
You might want a pencil and paper for this one as well. Suppose the wage rate for workers in India producing microchips is 1,000 rupees per hour. Each Indian worker can produce 4 microchips an hour. What is the per unit labor cost to make microchips in India?
Basis International,
250 rupees.
Manhebran,
250 rupees.
you are both correct.
Okay, 1918 basis. Let's go to what might be the last question.
We're now on to question number 24. Increase, decrease, or indeterminate. The central bank reduces their key interest rate at the same time that the government lowers taxes. What would you expect to happen to prices and output in the short run?
Okay. Are you sure? Prices Yeah. Yeah.
5 seconds.
Manhebran, your answer, please.
Both increase.
Basis International,
Both increase.
you are both correct.
Congratulations, Basis International. You've won the international round for the Adam Smith division.
Oh, another comeback.
Okay. We're out of questions.
That's it. We have our winner.
We have our winner. Congratulations. And congratulations to all the teams this afternoon. What a remarkable day it has been. What we'd like to do now, though, is ask everybody to stay seated, because in just a minute we're going to hand out the trophies for what is now the 3rd annual CE's National Economic Challenge International Round. So we will do that in just a moment. Stay tuned. Congratulations. Congratulations to both.
No, do we go off?
East.
Right? Do we go off that side?
Yeah, they told us to go the back.
Yeah, we're going that side.
Well played. Very well played. God, that was amazing.
Good game.
Amazing.
Good job.
Quick match.
One, two.